Hey, welcome in everybody. So in this video, I want to show you how you can create your own custom title block. So if we go to Sheets, you'll see that Revit already has, and this template that we're using, Revit already has a bunch of sheet templates already set up. But I'm going to delete these. So I'm going to highlight the first one. I'm going to Shift Alt, yeah, be careful how you say that. Shift Alt those and right click. We're gonna delete all of these. All right, so there's many ways you can go about creating your own custom title block, but I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go up to where you see File, and then over where it says New, click the arrow, the right arrow, and then where it says Title Block, opens a template for creating a title block, family, yada yada yada. I'm gonna click this one. And let me change my views to list. So you can see these are the sizes that it already kind of has set up. But what I want to do is I'm going to create a new size because I want 17 by 22. So I'm going to click on new size, click the open. It's going to kind of bring in this border with a 8.5 by 11 kind of square in it. So I don't want to use that one, so I'm going to select the right line. It doesn't matter, left or right. I'm going to select the right line though. I want to, and then while I have that one selected, I'm going to change this dimension to 22 inches. Press enter. I'm going to select the top line. I'm going to change this dimension to 17 inches. Press enter. Let me zoom out a little bit. So these dimensions here that you see, those aren't going to show up in our title block, so you don't need to delete them. I'm just going to like move these out of the way on the outside of our little border area we got going on here. All right, so that kind of represents the sheet of paper. So what I want to do is I'm going to go to create. I'm going to draw another border inside this. I want to go to line. Where you see offset, I'm going to change this to 1 inch, and I'm going to draw a line from this top left corner straight down because I want that line to be offset 1 inch. And then for the other lines, I'm going to change my offset to a 1/2 inch, and I'm just going to keep drawing to the corner. So this bottom right corner, go up to the top, over to this top. And it kind of squares it off for us already, nice and neat. So now what I want to do is I'm going to create some more lines, but I don't want my offset to be, I want my offset to be 0 on these. I'm going to draw a line from this line over. I'm going to draw one, I'm just kind of randomly drawing lines in. So I'm going to draw one over here. One over here. I want one to go here over to there. I want another one. Where do I want this one to? I want this one here down. Let me draw another one over. So I want, what do I want? 1, 2, I want 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that's what I want. Let me hit the modify. So I just kind of randomly kind of drew on some lines like this. Now what I can do is go in and kind of move these where I want it. So this, I'm going to click this line. This one I want to be from, I'm going to click this bottom dot and drag it up to here. So I want that to be a 1/2 inch. I want this one here. No, I want to select this line because I already have that one where I want it. I don't want it moving on me. I'm going to select this line, select this dimension. I want that a 1/2 inch. I'm going to select this. I'm going to drag this dot up to here. I want this to be a 1/2 inch, like so. And then I want this line from here to there. I want that to be 2 inches actually, like so. This line, I want it to be 2 inches off the left. I'm gonna click this line, I want this to be 6 inches. I'm gonna select this line, I want it to be 2 inches from that vertical line there, so that's 2 inches. All right, so then we have our lines all kind of set up like I want. All right, so I would say that's step one, kind of drawing our lines where we want them. I kind of had this figured out ahead of time, so that kind of made that a little easier knowing where I want them to be. And then the next thing I'm gonna do, in this area here, you could put like an image for like your company logo, your school logo, your personal logo. I'm just gonna bring in a random image just to kind of show you how to do it. So in this area, I'm gonna go up to Insert, and over where it says Import Image, I'm gonna go to my Downloads folder. I'm gonna go to Views to I wanna make these thumbnails so we can kind of see this images here. So this is kind of the one that I had thought about adding, this little guy drinking a bottle of water. So I'm gonna click this image, click on Open. Now notice when you bring it in, it's gonna be super large. That X kind of represents where the size of our image. So I'm just gonna left click somewhere to kind of drop it in. And then I can move this. So I want this bottom corner to be in the bottom corner of that. And you know what? I don't know if we can do this, but I haven't tried this before. I'm gonna use the Align tool. No, when I did that, it went away. All right, so that didn't work. All right, so anyway, I'm just gonna drag this, try to place that dot and this dot. It doesn't have to be exactly. That's kind of why I use the white background. So it's kind of like the background is kind of invisible. And so then I'm gonna grab this dot, not triangle. I'm gonna drag this down all the way. I want that to fit inside this little box here. And then I can select it and use the keys to kind of nudge it. The arrow keys. I want that to be at the bottom. I want this one, the sun, to be at the top of that line. That's beautiful. All right, so there we go. So there's our image / logo. And then, so now what we can do is start adding some text to it. So I'm gonna go up to create. So I would say there's kind of two types of text we can add. So text that's gonna stay there, it's not gonna change. And then we can add text that are actually labels that's gonna change depending on kind of what drawing we have. So the sheet name, sheet number, things like that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in the text that's going to stay pretty much no matter what drawing it is. It's going to be the same. So I'm going to go up to create. I'm going to go to text. And then what you could do is, so I'm going to add kind of our box labels up here. So like student name, class name, drawing scale, the date. All right, so what I want to do is, let me look at my notes that I got, make sure I get the sizes correct. Yeah. Okay, so I want 1/8. So what I want to do is go to, what I want this text to be is I want it to be left justified, and then I want it to be at the top. So I'm going to zoom in here. I'm just going to click a space that I want this to be. So that's going to be, I'm going to just right here, I'm going to type in student name. You can see my text is way too big right now. That's okay. Student name. I'm going to click out of it. So what I want to do is I'm going to go up to where you see text note. If you look, edit type, that text is 3/16 of an inch. I want this to be 1/8. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this. And I'm going to change this to where it says text note 1/8 inch. Hit OK there. And I'm going to change the text size to 1/8 of an inch. Hit OK. Now I didn't change our text size here because we still have it under the old text note. So I am going to go up here. I'm going to select this. I'm going to change to text note 1/8. And now you can see it kind of makes our text a little smaller. So that's kind of what we want. I'm going to kind of move this up to the kind of the top left corner. And then what I can do is, I already have this selected. I can go to copy. And I'm going to copy it from, where can I copy it from? This bottom corner to here, to here, to here. So obviously I don't want 4 student names. So this one is going to be, I'm going to double left click this. This is going to be class name. This one, double left click it. It's going to be drawing scale. And then this one, double left click on that. I'm going to rename this as date. There's an A in there somewhere. There it is. All right, so date. And now let me zoom out a little bit. So over here, this is where the sheet name, no, the project name is going to go up here. So I don't need a label for that. And then the sheet name is going to go in this area here. So I don't need a label for that. But here is going to be where I plan to have the sheet number. So that I need a label for that. Just because what I'm going to do is just kind of copy this from this corner here, pan over to this corner here, hit the escape key a couple of times. I'm going to double left click. I'm going to rename this as sheet number. Sheet number. All right, there we go. Looking good. Let me zoom out a little bit. Actually, let me move this one down a little bit. This one just down a tad. When I zoomed out, that line was missing. Okay, that looks better. All right, same thing here. You notice that when I zoom out? Anyway, I don't think it's gonna do that in real, but move it over a little bit. Okay, so there's that. Okay, so if I'm the one that's using Revit, right? I'm the one that's using Revit. I'm the one that's creating these drawings. These are my files. So my student name is not going to change. It's always going to be me, right? If you're creating these, it's always going to be you. So, and the same for the class name, right? So, and you might have, you know, architecture design 1 year and architecture design 2 the next. But for the most part, that class name is not going to change either. So I don't need labels for these. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this kind of permanent text for this particular title block. So I'm going to go back up to create. I'm going to go to text. And then for my justification, I'm going to use like middle left. And then I don't want this to be 1/8 of an inch. I'm going to go to edit type. I'm going to click on duplicate. I'm going to change this to text note. I think we already might have a text note 3/16 already there. I think we already do. Let me cancel this. Let me cancel out of this. I think we already have one. I think text note 1 is 3/16. Yeah, it is. Okay, so I wish I could rename that to text note 3/16 so I know what it is, but I'm going to leave it like that. So text note 1, I didn't have to change the size of it. It's already the size I need. So now I can just go to where you see student name, and somewhere here, I'm going to type in, you can type in your name, your initials, whatever. I'm going to type in LC Leach. I know that's my name. I can't help it. It is what it is. All right, so then just kind of nudge this up. And then for class name, that's not going to change either. So what I could do here, I could copy this, make a copy from like here to here, double left click that. This, I'm gonna call this one architectural design 1, not I1, capital I looks like what I'm looking for. Let me nudge it up on 1 as well. So we got that. Drawing scale, that's going to depend on what drawing we're working on, right? So that's not going to be permanent, so I'm going to leave that like it is. Same for the date. I think all these others are going to be variables. So to add like a variable text, I'm going to go up to create. This time I'm going to use a label. And so I want this label to be 3/16. I believe this one is 3/16. So again, my justification here is still going to be centered. It's going to be on the left. I'm going to select where do I want my drawing scale to be. So somewhere here. Now notice you're going to get this edit label dialog box that pops up, and you'll have all these kind of tags that you can add to your drawing. But I'm looking for drawing scale. So I'm going to select scale. I'm going to click this right arrow thingy majiggy. It adds it into our list. I'm going to click OK. So I'm also going to hit the escape key a couple of times. I want to nudge this one up. Try to get it kind of centered in there a little bit. Like so. And then for the date, again, I'm going to go to File. No, I want to go to create, sorry. I'm going to go to create, label. I'm going to select where do I want to place this date. Somewhere here. Look for date timestamp and click the right green arrow thing. Click OK. So now I don't want to double stack like this. Maybe my pancakes I want double stack, but not this. So I'm going to click on this dot and drag it kind of all the way to the end there. Hit the escape key a couple of times. We can also, so whenever you create your drawing or whatever, it's gonna pop in the current date and time, which is kind of cool. So there's those. Then here I'm gonna put in, this area is gonna be the project name. So again, I'm gonna go to create, go to label. I want this to be like middle. I want to start it somewhere here. This is going to be project name. Click the arrow, hit OK. Again, drag this. I'm going to drag this all the way to where it's just barely inside both of our boxes there. Kind of center these, nudge it over to the left a little bit. Kind of get those kind of eyeball even. Okay, so there's project name. Over here is going to be the sheet title. So, and this one I want it to be a bigger text. So this one and that one's going to be bigger. So I want to go to create. I want to go to label. I'm going to go to edit type. I'm going to go to duplicate. I want this to be tag. I'm going to call this tag label. And that wants to be, what I said it was going to be, a 1/2 inch, yeah. 1/2 inch. Click OK. I'm going to change my text size to a 1/2 inch. And then hit apply, hit OK. So now I'm going to go center with this one, somewhere about there. And I'm looking for sheet name. Hit the green arrow. Again, drag these dots. I'm going to drag them all the way just barely inside our box. That would hit pretty good right in the center. And then sheet number, same thing. I want that to be the same size as my, as my sheet name. So my sheet number, sheet name, same size. Center. I'm going to click where do I want it to be, right about here. I'm going to look for sheet number, hit the arrow. For sample value, I can't talk. I'm going to change this to just A1. And then hit the escape key a couple times. I'm going to kind of center this a little bit in this box, like so. Move it over a little bit. Yeah, right about there. So yeah, we have everything kind of set up. So now what we want to do, first thing you want to save. You want to go to File, Save. This is going to be saved as a Revit family. So we're going to call this one Custom. I have so many already, I've been practicing. Custom Titleblock. I can't spell to save my life. Titleblock. And 17 by 22. Yeah, that'll work. Hit save. And then since I already have this first floor open already here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up to where you see load into project. And you're going to get this warning. That's okay. Just hit the X there. Since we've deleted all our sheets already, I'm going to go up to, I think, view. Yeah, I always have trouble finding where the sheet is located. So in the view tab, under sheet composition, sheet, I'm going to grab the one that I just made, which is the custom Titleblock 17 by 22. I'm going to click on OK. So there's our sheet. Now what we want to do here, we're just going to like go to our first floor plan. I'm going to left click and hold my mouse key down and drag it kind of in the center. And left click again to place it. Now there's our floor plan in our sheet, but you see we have this crazy border that's outside our sheet. We have these elevation markers that are outside our sheet. But you also see that it put the drawing scale in for us automatically, depending on what drawing scale our floor plan was. But I'm digressing. So how do we get rid of these kind of border outside and these elevation tags? So I'm gonna go back to my first floor. Over in the properties where you see the extents, I'm gonna select crop view and crop region visible or visibility. Let me drag that out. Yeah, crop region visible. I'm gonna select those. Hit the check mark on those. Zoom out a little bit. So that gives you this little square box. So I'm just gonna click on this box, and I'm gonna left click and drag these kind of close up to our dimensions that we have on all four sides. And you can kind of see that gets rid of our elevation markers being in view, like so. And so now I don't want to have this box showing up on my floor plan, so I'm going to uncheck crop region visible. Leave the crop view checked, because that's what's going to kind of hide all this other gobbledygook. And then we can go back to our sheet that we have. And so now what we can do is you're going to see that we have this kind of this marker down here way at the bottom. So you just left click and drag it up underneath our kind of dimensions here. And if I try to grab the right end, it doesn't let me. And it's been frustrating trying to figure out why. What you want to do is if you click inside your floor plan, that little box, if you left click inside of that once, now you get this box or this little circle. You can drag it underneath and kind of line it up. I try to line it up underneath my dimensions, so it's kind of lined up underneath on both ends. So there's our floor plan marker. Now where it says unnamed here in project name, we need to fix that. We need to fix our sheet number. So under this, for the sheet number over here where it says sheet number, I'm going to click on the E3 and just change this to A1. E3, I think that would be an electrical drawing, so we want an architectural drawing. Sheet name, right now it's unnamed. We're going to change this to floor plan. And then for project name, I was looking, okay, I don't see project name over here. Where does that come from? So this is located, if you go to the, I believe it's manage, yeah, manage tab, click on project information. And then in this information here, you want to scroll down to where you see project name. And I'm just going to change this. So give this a project name. It could be, I'm going to call it Tory House. Tory House. Okay. Hit OK. Now you can see it updates to our awesome title block. So I think we have everything, right? Now I'm looking at, looks like our drawing skill and our date, the text is bigger than our student name and class name. I don't know, let's go double check. So I'm gonna go back to my, title block here. So this one, I'm gonna edit type. This one we created, that's 3/16, right? And then this one, if I edit type that, oh, see, that's a 1/4 inch. So I don't want that to be a 1/4 inch. I'm gonna change this to, I'm not sure how much trouble I'm gonna get into if this is gonna mess up anything else. So my tag 1, I want this to be 3/16 of an inch. Hit apply. So I changed the size of those. I don't think we had anything that was a 1/4 inch, so we're good there. Yeah, so now if I load in the project again, is it gonna update it? So I'm gonna overwrite the existing version. Go back to my floor plan. Yeah, that looks a lot better. I was thinking that looks out of whack there. All right, there we go. So now, yeah, that looks a lot better. So we've created our custom title block. The good thing is you really only have to do that once for your project, and then you can kind of bring in that same title block for all the other drawings. Yeah, so I like it. So I hope that helped, and I'll see you in the next video. All right, peace.